This is just a ramen review, where my ultimate goal is to spread the joy and love of ramen to the world. I will be reviewing ramen based on 5 different categories: packet presentation, broth, noodles, value, and a joy score. And I'm still not happy with joy score. It's a work in progress. Today, we'll have a special guest. Well, actually, all ramen is special, so we have a guest today. I have this backlog of ramen from this special like ramen box. Most of them are from Korea. I think all of them are from Korea actually, and it's just a box of unique, fun ramens that I want to go over. And today's is kind of special. Okay, you know what? It's special because of its unique packaging and the I don't know, what do you call it? The stigma? I don't know. You'll see. Lobster ramen, otherwise called ramen. And so this is a kind of a, so this in Korean, it's a little wordplay. So this is lap and then myeon. And so, I mean, you guys probably get it by now, but it's like lobster men, like lob men. I don't know. Anyway, so this really stuck out to me because of the packaging. I mean, who's not gonna stop by and look at this thing, you know, if they see it in a grocery aisle? You're shopping and you see this just black packaging with a lobster on it, you know, it's gonna catch your eye. And so this is, you know, the first packet that caught my eye when I opened this loot box of ramens. And I really want to go over it, and I'm curious as to what it tastes like. Also, it is expired, so I'm sorry for not respecting the ramen. But we will do it justice, and we will eat it with pride and joy, despite its expired date. I mean, the last ramen review was expired, and it didn't really taste expired to me, I guess. So, you know, let's carry on with packet presentation. Alright, so off the bat, it's, for a packet ramen, it's a very unique packet, You, well, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've never seen a package like this before. This is a very, you know, elegant kind of package. So we have this kind of classic, you know, formal font, lobsterman. And I don't know if you can see it on the top, but it says premium noodle up here. It's very faint, but that's, you know, it's classy because it's faint. If you can barely read it, it's classy. And it's got these parallel lines going across right here. I don't know if it's hard to see across the package. And everything's, and then the lobster itself is on a black plate. Again, I don't know if you can see it, but maybe we can cut to the B-roll and we can see the actual plate. And we have this lobster. It's like a lobster coated in bronze or something. Super shiny. I wouldn't even call it red anymore. And there's this kind of fork just kind of trying to poke the lobster. I don't know if the fork is kind of, you know, closer to the camera, you know, depth of field wise, but if this fork is, you know, close to this lobster, this is a small lobster, you know, comparing a fork this big to a lobster like this big. I don't know. But I find it pretty funny that they added the fork. I think the packet could have done without the fork, but that's just my opinion. And on the back, we have cooking instructions, I think some more nutrition stuff and some production information, and nutrition facts in English, because this is a Korean ramen, I believe. Actually, it is. They have a website listed. Sorry if it's like the crinkling noise, it's really loud, but I gotta get it done, man. They have a website back here, Palkin. So I actually went to their website to do a little research on the ramen, and I think it's a website or a company that sells like novelty kind of food, like novelty, classy, elegant food that this ramen is really trying to go for. And sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked from the packet presentation. So yeah, overall, it's I I think it's very pleasing to the eye. You know, the all black theme. You know, black is usually symbolized as, you know, cool, elegant, serene, you know, rich, expensive. And you have the ramen, and you have this shiny fork, and this, you know, classy vanilla font. You know, they really get the vibe of the classy, expensive, premium vibe into this packaging. And I hope it tastes just as elegant, if that's even possible. But I think I'm going to give this packet presentation score a 8.3 out of 10. 8.3 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair. Goes for a vibe that nails it spot on. It's fun. It's unique. There are some flaws to it that I did point out, but overall, 8.3. Now, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up, take a look at the contents, the ramen packet, the dried packets, and discuss them. Here we have our standard dried packet ramen in a square shape. Nothing too fancy or noticeable about it so far. It does smell a little bit stale, again, because it is expired. I'm sorry, ramen won't happen again. Actually, it will, so sorry. And, you know, taking a bite out of it, it, you know, tasted like your average dried ramen packet. You know, no distinct flavors or anything, but then again, pretty good. Now moving on to the dried flavor packet. So this kind of disappointed me. It tasted very similar to the Shin Ramen dried packet flavoring. It's spicy beef flavor, nothing too surprising, unique, or anything that stood out to me. No unique lobster flavor at all, just your standard spicy flavor packet. Next up is the dried vegetable packet. A little bit to talk about here. So starting off, we did have these some kind of dried shellfish chunks. I think they were maybe crab or shrimp or something. I suspect shrimp. They had a little bit of crunch to them, that seafood flavor. We had green onions, some cabbage, I believe, dried seaweed, which gave our broth a lot of the flavor. Let's see, and carrots, although a little bit discolored. All in all, pretty good dried packet. I'm really glad they added the seaweed in. It did help the flavor, and the chunks of shellfish, that also did help too, I believe. Finally, we come to the star of the show, the lobster chunks. And I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed by this. You know, 7 chunks of lobster, come on. There's only 6 on this screen. Wait, was it 6? No, I think there was 7. Nothing too special. They're really small and porous. You know, there's maybe one got crumbled up, which is what you see, the remnants of a sad little dried lobster. But you know, they're unique. You know, I've never seen something like this in a dried ramen packet, so kudos. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the inside contents of the packet, let's get on to cooking and reviewing the ramen itself. Itself. Oh, okay, so here we are with lobster ramen, ramyeon. First things first, let's put some noodles into the cooling cup, just so we can try the noodles and not have them, super bloated or anything. Whoops. Alright, that's a good amount. So, well, at first glance, at first glance, it looks like Shin ramen. It smells like Shin ramen, and I pretty much expect it to taste like Shin ramen. And I'm gonna say right now that I'm not too excited or what's it called, impressed with the ramen so far. And but we're not gonna judge too harshly yet. We'll give it some room. Let's try the broth first and see how that goes. Broth. Okay, so alright, it does have, a bit more of a seafoody smell to it. And I suspect that's actually because of the seaweed, the dried seaweed that gave flavor to the broth, as opposed to the actual flavor packet. Because again, the flavor packet did taste almost identical to the Shin ramen packet. So broth, here we go. Okay, I gotta try that again. Alright, okay, hold on. So, it doesn't really taste like Shin ramen broth. It does have its own taste. And again, I'm going to say that's due to the dried flavor packets giving flavor and layers to the broth. It's good. It's spicy, about the same level of spiciness as Shin ramen. It has a hint of the ocean. It's not too overpowering, but you can tell that there's some kind of seafood, fishy, undertones to it. And honestly, it's really good. They definitely didn't get anything wrong. But I guess I expected something much different. Maybe something creamy. Because I don't know, when I think lobster, I think of something, with a cream sauce over it. That's how I usually see lobster eaten. But this is fine. This is perfectly fine. The broth is good. It is different, but it's good. But overall, I would say it's nothing too special. It doesn't stand out to me. And so I think I'm going to have to give the broth score a 7.6 out of 10. Alright, now let's go on to the noodles. So let me put a little bit of broth in here and try the noodles out. So the noodles I expect would taste, like the broth and have the texture and consistency of, just a Shin ramen. Okay, I stand corrected again. So, wow, it's chewier. It's more slippery, if that makes sense. Wow, I don't know. It's I guess it's a lot smoother than Shin ramen, which in turn makes it slippery. It's not crunchy, but it has like a kind of a jelly-like chewiness in the middle of the ramen. I know I'm not doing the best to kind of to explain the texture of the ramen, but it's really good. I really like the texture of this noodle actually. Let's try some more noodles. It's really weird because the noodles are actually, they look pretty thin so far. They're definitely different than Shin ramen noodles. I'll say that. I gotta try this again. yeah, overall, I would say noodles are slippery and chewy, and they do soak up the broth very well. I'm not having to take sips of the broth to remind myself of the flavor of the broth while eating the noodles. And I think that's due partly to the fact that the broth is oily, so it sticks to the noodles better. It's really good. I like it. All right, so with this unique texture of noodles that I don't think I've really experienced or noticed before, I think I'm gonna have to give the noodles a score of 8.7 out of 10. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how the noodles turned out. It's a really good texture. So before we go on to the value, let's just go on to the, I guess, the main course of the meal, what was advertised on the packet, the lobster itself. So here we have the lobster. It's very small. It didn't grow as much as I thought it would grow. Let's go ahead and give it a bite. Okay. Okay. The texture, it's pretty flaky, a bit porous. Yeah. I'm gonna just say it tastes exactly like imitation crab meat. It's a little bit sweet. Barely any seafood flavor. That's really what it tastes like. I'm gonna find another one. So eat with some seaweed. Get some broth in the mouth. Yeah, it tastes like imitation crab meat to me. I'm not really impressed with it. It's cool that they added a separate dried packet for the lobster, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole point the packet is trying to go for. And here we have, what is this? Oh, it's a discolored carrot or something. Oh yeah, it's a carrot. But yeah, it doesn't remind me of lobster at all. If I sat down and ate this without knowing what the packet was, I would probably think this is just a seafood-based ramen with imitation crab meat. I would have never thought that the whole packet, the whole ramen, was going for a lobster premium vibe to it. So I'm gonna just put that out there. I think it's pretty funny. So I'm gonna just go ahead and finish the ramen, and we'll talk about the value and the joy score. So before I say anything, I'm gonna just say it was delicious. It was good. I'm glad I ate it. But let's discuss the price. So on Amazon, it is $26.90 for 4 packets, which comes to about $6.73 for 1 packet, which is a little bit high. It's very high. And I went to their website in Korea, I went to the Korean website, and they sell the packet ramen, one for 1,900 won, which is about, it's a little less than $2. And I think maybe the Korean price is a little bit worth, but for the American viewers, you're gonna have to pay for shipping and stuff, and I just don't think it's worth ordering from the Korean website. And as far as the Amazon price, about $6.73 per packet. No thanks. It's yeah. Don't get me wrong. The ramen was delicious, and the noodles were, I think, the saving point of the ramen itself. But I don't think it's worth $6.73. And I'm just gonna say that it's not even worth a little under $2 either for 1 packet of ramen. I just the amount of effort and flavors that went into this, I think, is not worth $2, not even $6. So the value of this ramen is pretty bad. I'm glad I got to get my hands on it. I'm glad I got to eat it, but I'm never gonna buy it again and eat it. Unless I'm a millionaire, then I'll do it again. So for the value score, I'm gonna have to give it a 5.4 out of 10. Now, let's go on to the joy score. Man. So I think my perception of the ramen was ruined because I expected so much after seeing the packet. They presented it in such an elegant way. The design of the packet is fun, it's classy, and it really draws you in, and it says, hey, that's cool. I want to eat that. And that's unique, you know? People are out here, you know, trying to experience life, and they're like, this is something that'll spice up my life. This is something that I'm never going to forget. And let me tell you, I'm never going to forget this because I think I baited myself. I think my whole experience of the ramen was kind of undermined by the fact that, does that make sense? My whole experience was, you know, it was a, what do you call it? It was an illusion. My experience was an illusion because I walked into this thinking that, you know, this was going to be something unique and different. And it was just, you know, Shin ramen with seafood flavoring, with bits of imitation, or with the lobster, little sad pieces of lobster meat. And just 7 of those at that. And I just, you know, I really wish I had wanted to do something different. But also, I don't blame them, you know. They, I can't blame them for not getting what I expected, can I? You know, the ramen was still delicious. It doesn't taste bad or anything. But overall, I think my personal joy score is going to be a 4.7 out of 10. And again, that is partly my fault because just how, you know, extravagant it looked and seemed and how it was advertised, and I just, you know, my expectations were way too high. But then again, you know, this is my joy score, and this is how I'm going to score it. With a packet presentation score of 8.3, a broth score of 7.6, a noodle score of 8.7, a value score of 5.4, and a joy score of 4.7, that gives us an average score of 6.94. So there you have it, the lobster ramen with a score of 6.94. A ramen that delivers an exciting and elegant packet experience, but not so well delivery of its flavors and its ability to match its advertising power with its flavors. Did that make sense? I hope it did. And I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Should I ask for sponsors? Yeah. I want Wells Fargo to sponsor me, please. Thank you.